What's up, people? It's Mr. Back again with a review show after Nottingham Forest's 1-0 draw yesterday. Chuck it 0-0 draw. And before I was doing a review show, bit tired, but it had to be done. If you are new to our channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. And I've got a panel in today. We've got the Do Dugger. Des, how are you doing, Des?
I'm good, Dore. How are you?
I'm tired as hell. Can't you believe tell? I've been doing too much YouTube work. I should be on desert level.
Yeah, there you go. When you work hard as me, you'll have the number of followers I've got.
Oh, days. Next door, we've got Dylan. How you doing, Dylan?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Sorry if you keep seeing me look up, I'm watching. Fulham's just hit the post against Derby.
Oh yeah, forgot. Dylan's Derby watching. He's Derby watching. So Dylan's he's doing.
So if you start seeing me go like that, you know the score.
Does that mean Fulham have scored or Derby?
No. Fulham.
Do we want our rivals to lose?
Of course, we want to lose. Of course, we want to lose. And last but not least, we've got the Stoke City fan, Lee Tilton.
Who's this guy?
Right.
Is that the Stoke City fan?
Wait, before we do start, Lee, why have you got that silly tree up?
Because it's Christmas time.
Boy,
It's Christmas.
Des, have you got your Christmas tree up? Please don't say yes.
No, it's only November.
Yes, yeah. See,
Look at
So
me.
we've got the Grinch and we've got Scrooge on the top two screens, and we've got.
Hey, look, I've got mine up.
Oh, you sad people. It's not even Christmas yet, and you've got your stupid Christmas tree up.
Yeah, but I've got kids.
People in the comments, have you got your Christmas tree up? Because you lot are clowns if you have. But yeah, yesterday.
Wow.
Oh, what?
He's got stockings up and everything.
Yeah, look.
You sad person.
I've got a newborn, so she needs to see it.
That is true as well. So yeah, Forest draw 0-0 with Luton yesterday. I'm gonna get everyone to Forest about the game. But like I say, if you are new to my channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you know, and and put in the comments below as well. And if you want to donate as well to the channel to make it build up, so you can as well. But yeah, let's talk about today's game, 0-0. But we'll start with the SAMBA. We'll talk to you, Lee, first. How good was SAMBA yesterday?
Superb, wasn't he? Yeah. I mean, I didn't see the game live, but I've obviously seen the saves that he made, especially that one at the end. And he's had a few games like that though this season, hasn't he? He gets criticised, but what was the other game? He had another game where he almost single-handedly got us. I can't remember what game was that now earlier in the season. He was man of the match.
What game was that?
Birmingham away.
Yeah, Birmingham was
Yeah, he's had a few games like that, and he's banished the demons, I think, of sort of last season and the start of this season. I think he's probably one of those players. He likes to play up to the crowd, doesn't he? And the opposition. And I think maybe he suffered a bit with playing behind closed doors, because I think the crowd raises his game a bit, and maybe he lost that last season.
100%. Des, let's say this game like SAMBA was fantastic, but all around, what was your opinion on the game?
It was a bit scrappy, wasn't it? You know, as I've been saying a lot recently, it was hard fought. You know, both teams was up for it. It was a little bit lacking in quality. You know, I was quite disappointed with Forest going forward for the first time in a while. They seem to be massively off the pace. As we spoke about, Taylor, some of us don't think he's the answer at all. You know, he seems a mile off it at the minute. And I like the guy. Wanted him to do really well and do well. You know, he's a good personality at times, but it just seemed to be a frustrating night for Forest, a frustrating night for Taylor. I was worried at one point that he might get sent off.
Yeah, first half, wasn't it? First half, he was.
Towards the end of the first half, he seemed to lose his rag, and I think that might have been frustration of sort of not being able to hold the ball up, not being involved in the game. He shows for it. The good thing about what he does, he always wants the ball. it's just not sticking, is it? And he's not really getting that many touches. There's a lot of he gives away a lot of free kicks. He's frustrated over a lot of the decisions against him. So I just don't think we had that much going forward. It was frustrating more than disappointing. You know, we can't play well every game. I've always thought in the other games under Cooper until now that we could nick it, and I never really saw it coming yesterday. It just didn't seem to sort of gel. And I've said before as well, I quite like the three at the back. And again, he went. Yeah,
I did as well.
He went with four, and it just, for me, I think we can move the ball a lot better. But of course, everything we're saying is possibly due to the number of changes he had to make, and people playing out of position, and players coming in making the debut, or players sort of square pegs in round holes. So we've got to be happy with it, and we played 20 minutes with 10 men. You know, Samba played out of his skin. Yeah. Always pleasing to see, because he seems to get a lot of criticism at times.
He warned me though, does he? Like, yesterday, like, he warned me. He's a fantastic keeper. Don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic keeper, but it's like he smokes weed before he gets into the bloody ground, man. He does. Dylan, what's the face for, Dylan? You know he does, Dylan. I think Dylan is a dealer.
No, don't ban me that way.
No, he's just very laid back, isn't he? And he comes across that way. And like Lee said, I think he hit the nail on the head. It probably did affect him without the crowd. You know, it seems when he can get involved with what the crowd are doing with the lower Bridgeford or with the away fans, you know, in certain games, it seems to fire him up a lot more. And
he's even got it on his Twitter, hasn't he? On his Twitter description, he describes himself as a house. So he's obviously aware that he plays up to the crowd as well.
So yeah, I think it was important to see Steve Cooper walk straight over to him at the end and throw his arms around him. I think he's that type of player, isn't he? Because before that, he cleared one long, and I saw Cooper really frustrated with him because he put us under pressure. And Cooper was like, "What are you doing?" But as soon as the whistle went, obviously looking at the game as a whole, he went straight over to him and like picked him up. And I think that's what Samba needs more than anything, isn't it?
5%. Dylan, your man, Jack Colback, playing left back, but do you think we missed him centre mid yesterday? I know we got sent off on that, but I think we missed him.
I think we did, but that Ojeda, mate.
What a player!
He's played one game, mate. I think he's going to be absolute awesome.
Right. This is for everyone, right? Ojeda was great, but who would you replace though? Yates or Colback? People in the comments, who would you replace? This is for everyone.
Yates.
Huh?
Yates. I can't replace Colback.
Oh, you would say, right, Des and Lee. People in the comments as well. I like her. I think he played really good on his debut as well. He's really good. But who was replaced? Which one of you, Lee? The comments as well.
I would leave Yates and Garner. Yates, Garner, and Colback at the moment.
If you had a choice, who would you replace?
Well, if I had to choose, I'd probably say Colback. Simply, and I like Colback, but just simply for the fact that he's younger and Yates is young, so there's two players there who could potentially play together for years. You know, so obviously maybe if we were to go up, it all changes because they might not be good enough for the Premier League. But as we stand at the moment, they could play together for years, couldn't they, in midfield? Whereas Colback's 31 now, is he? 32.
Yeah, 31, 32.
Yeah. I'd replace Colback, and I'm like Dylan. I'm a massive Colback fan. But if you're making me choose between the two, I'd replace Colback because out of the two players, I think Colback's integral to what we do, but I think that Ojeda was more similar to what Colback does as a player. Colback's a little bit more mobile than Yates, but I'm not saying that as a criticism to Yates. He's the one who really sits in quite deep, picks the ball up, lays it off. I think there's a bit more to Ojeda's game, which I think there's a bit more to Colback's game. We've seen with him chipping in with the odd goal or two. He can get further forward. He can move around the pitch. He's a bit more mobile, I guess. And I think if you're going like for like, and Cooper likes obviously Yates and Colback, the player you would replace if you had to is Colback.
People in the comments, do you agree with Des? Would you replace with Colback? I don't know. I think it's a tough one because I said both Colback and Yates. They've been fantastic so far for Cooper. But
you got to see them both play. It's got to be a time where if they're going to play Jada, he's got to play with Yates and he's got to play with Colback, and we've got to see the combination. We've got to see. Or Garner. Who they're going to play with? Who he's going to play with?
All of a sudden, got really good options in midfield.
Yeah,
he played well with Garner yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you really?
And apparently Garner, I mean, like I said, I didn't see the game, and I didn't see the game at the weekend live. I've only seen highlights. So, but from what I've heard, Garner's played quite well with the last 2 games. Maybe he's starting to find his momentum a bit from last season. He seems to have played better the last 2 games, hasn't he?
We've gone like the game against Reading. The last 20 minutes, he was all right. Last 20 minutes for me, but just
he put what's his name through, didn't he? Apparently with a good ball, grabbing.
Yeah, it was grabbing. He said, but I don't know.
I think yesterday's probably Garner's best game for us this season was yesterday.
All right, good.
I would say.
It was all right, but
That's promising.
Ojeda for me was the guy that non-stop running, non-stop. But
I think
Dylan's right. Wasn't he on the ball? He was quite good on the ball with the ball at his feet as well. He said there was a time where he danced past a couple of players on the edge of the box. So he does sound like he could be a really good player.
He looks like he wants the first 20 minutes. He looked good on the ball, but he looked a bit. Oh God, what's going off here? Then after 20 minutes, he just seemed to get the ball and just keep going forward. And he looked confident as the game went on.
People in the comments, if you want to say in the comments toward the panel, we can about yesterday's game. Next one, we're going to talk about Brennan Johnson and Joe Lolly. Like, I'm going to ask you, Des. This was quiet again. And
yeah, I think for me, and again, I don't want to question Cooper too much because it sounds like I'm on his case, and I'm definitely not. But in that first half, I just felt like they were turning themselves inside out a little bit. I thought they needed to be on the opposite wings. I always liked Brennan Johnson down the left. I don't know why. He just, even though it's not natural, not so natural to him, he seems to just get to that line, and be able to pull it. Well, it is natural to him because that's his side if he were going to the byline, and that's where I find Forest's real strength since Cooper came in is Brennan Johnson getting to that byline. No other player does it. So I know why he plays them on opposite wings to get them cutting in and shooting and create an opportunity in that sense. But I think at times, just take them back to the other side. And I think first half in particular, I felt they needed to be on opposite wings. And then as the game sort of wore on, there was tiring big time. And Johnson then has to play up front on his own. Johnson in particular, we're asking a lot of, aren't we? We had a conversation after the last game about would you play Johnson, and we all said yes. And I think you put the question out there about him. Does he need a little bit of a rest? And we all said, well, no, play the best players. So we are putting a lot on him. He's young. We're pinning all our hopes on him. And in games like yesterday, he's almost the only natural match winner there. So we've got to be careful about it. But yeah, they're going to have their off games, aren't they? In reality, and this is as football fans, we're all guilty of it. These type of players probably only have 1 in 4 good games anyway, but they're match winners when they do. They probably win you a match 1 in 4, 1 in 5, and you take it. You think I've got a quality player. What we're looking for, particularly from from both, is goals. And there's that thing going around about how many shots Joe Lolly's had, hasn't there? So we pin a lot on them, but when they're on song, they're match winners.
100%. You mentioned about goals, Des, as well. I know where Dylan's going. He's not been paying his bill. He's here now. He's back here now. Dylan, you're not paying your bill, Dylan?
Hey?
You're not been paying your bill?
No, it's my headphones.
It's these Meadows lot. Sorry, people. It's these Meadows lot. Like it's just Des and
I'm
Meadows.
going again. There's so much. Hold on. I'll be back in a minute.
Like we mentioned, like the goals as well. Like, Lee, do you feel sorry for Lyle Taylor? Like, I really do. Like, I don't remember he had a chance in the second half, didn't he? I think he did. Was it second half?
He put it over the bar, didn't he?
Yeah, he had an early chance.
But was that the one from Lolly's pass?
Yeah.
And
Do you feel sorry for him, Lee?
Yeah, I do feel sorry for him because he's a lovely bloke, and you can't deny he's a lovely bloke. You want him to do well. But I just don't think he's good enough for what Forest need at this level. When you want to be going for promotion, he might be good enough to play in the Championship for a slightly lesser team, dare I say it, like a Derby or someone. But is he good enough for a team going for promotion at this stage of his career? Probably not. And again, just for the youth factor, I would probably err towards Dale. Is it Dale Taylor? The other Taylor. Not as a starter. I'm not saying, let's pin our hopes on him. But if Graben's gonna be the main man and Lyle Taylor's gonna be a sub, we might as well have Dale Taylor coming on and get some minutes into him, get some experience into him until January comes, and we can look to find maybe a bit more of a more experienced player.
Because what it is, me and Des went to watch him on the 23s on Monday.
Yeah.
Let me ask Des, right? Like, well, you know what? Des didn't even watch it because we sent Des to the stands, so he didn't really see the game as much. Yeah, we stood him off. Well,
no, I did see it all.
Prem Allardyce style.
We sent him off to the stands. I
was kicking off about the red card, so they sent me up to the back of the stands.
I don't think he's good enough for the first team yet.
No, I don't. I think there's a bit of hype, isn't there? He didn't look. He had some nice touches, but it was a difficult game to watch him. And bearing in mind, Forest were down to 10 men and 1-0 down after 10 minutes with the goalkeeper sent off. So it would have been difficult for him. The under-23s and himself battled hard throughout. Did what they can. He looked like a man in a youth team, which was. In a young team, sorry. So that was promising, considering he's only 17.
Yeah.
So who looks the better prospect at that level then? Because I'll be honest, I've not seen the under 23s to see the results and this, that, and the other. But who looks a better prospect then out of him and Will Swan?
I'm not sure, but I think just on Taylor, I think on Dale Taylor, from what I've seen from Lyle Taylor recently. I'm not saying Dale Taylor's the answer, and I'm not saying I'd necessarily put him in now, but he couldn't do much worse. And that's the thing, isn't it? Will Swan, you mentioned Will Swan. Where is he? Where is he? Is he on loan?
No.
I think he's still.
He's still a Forest. You know what it does? He didn't play for the 23s because he was in the squad.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting in itself, isn't it? That is
Dale Taylor's ahead of him.
Yeah, well, no.
So perhaps he's worth one last shout. Maybe he had a little run under Hooton, didn't he? So perhaps he's worth one last go.
The problem with Will Swan, right? And I don't know if people agree. He got a chance under Hooton last season. I think he got in the first team too early.
Yeah,
I think that's because we were struggling. We were struggling last season.
When did he play?
He played. He made a debut against Reading. No, was it Reading? Reading away. Only because we lost 2-0. And yeah, we losing 2-0, and they brought him on last 10 minutes. And then he played about 2 or 3 games. Then he went on loan to Port Vale, and that's why I think with Will Swan, he's ahead of Dale Taylor, but
he's what you're looking for. I think he's gone out on loan and he's not pulled up any trees at a lower level, is he? So why is he necessarily going to come into the Forest team? You know, he had a full season at Ipswich, didn't he? And it didn't really sort of work. But I don't know. I think if he was in the squad, that's interesting. Again, I don't want to be too hard on Lyle Taylor, because I just don't want to. I don't want to cut him to pieces. But it's just not happening for him, is it? There's got to be a different alternative. And the telling thing for me about having him in the team last night kind of tells me that Steve Cooper's probably in the search for a striker in January. Do you know, if he's because for me, as I've criticised Grabban in the past and his attitude and the way he walks back on his feet, but he's got to play every week. He's got to play because he's the best striker at the club by a mile.
He's got to play, isn't it? He's got to play because
absolutely. I suppose as well, bring Dale Taylor into it for Grabban, then he's going to be a young lad playing up on his own as well, isn't he? Which you've got to factor in. You know, do you want a 17-year-old playing up front on his own? I suppose that's probably not.
It can be a breaker as well, can't it? Do you know, can remember John Paul Pittman under Megson?
Yeah.
Megson put him in the first team. Well, brought him on after about 45 minutes and took him off after 70. Never seen him again.
Oh, that was horrible. That was.
That was at Chester. Your part of the world, Lee. We got beat 3-0 by Chester in the FA Cup.
Oh, Daz, you had to, didn't you, Daz? You had to bring it up, didn't you?
The worst day of my life watching Forest.
If people don't remember.
At the Beaver Stadium.
If people don't remember, we lost to Chester 3-0 under Guy Megson. It was dude. I remember I was listening to the radio, listen to that. That was one that, dude. Dad, why? Thank you very much for the blue night. Next one, today we heard about, was it yesterday? Lowe, he's out for 2 months. And then the next subject, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this. Bong. And we've got West. Oh my God.
Gone. Bong's gone.
Yeah, well, come on. Right. And this is what frustrated me yesterday, and I don't know if you agree with me, Des. Yesterday, and I heard a few boos. And I don't like that. I don't know what you lot think about people in the comments. What do you think about people booing?
Is that when he came on?
That when he came on?
No, I don't like
That's bad.
Right. Did you hear it yesterday?
Yeah, and do you know, you can understand the frustration, and I heard a lot of frustration aimed at Lyle Taylor. Do you know, and a lot of it you can understand because we don't get it. We're not seeing anything, and everybody can't be wrong. Do you know? But you can't boo them when they come on. Do you know, they're people at the end of the day, aren't they? And as frustrated as we all get, and I've been there in the past. You know, I've had to go at people, and you can't boo someone before they start. I never get it. It's like when they get booed off at half time. Yeah. And then they cheer them back onto the pitch. Do you know, it's completely unnecessary because it's not achieving anything, is it? There's different ways to kind of, I know people pay the money and we've all got right to sort of say and do what we think, but it's not going to help, is it? It's not going to help him on the day to come on and get booed. Do you know, if someone's shouting your shit from the stand, you know, you're not going to, it's not the way to set off on the right foot, is it? So I don't get it. I don't agree with it. I don't really like booing anyone.
Would you play against West Brom? That's the question. No. Would you play against West Brom?
No. Well, who are they going to play?
It has to be Bong, doesn't it? Now they've exhausted all the avenues.
Hey, do you know who plays right wing for West Brom?
No, I don't. I know very little about the opposition.
Isn't it Phillips?
Yeah, is Phillips still there?
Do they play for QPR? You know, do West Brom, don't they?
I think you might be right.
Matt Phillips. Right. Matt Phillips and Bong. Come on.
I think it depend though. Do you think if he goes back to a 3-5, do you think he might suit him a bit better? Bong.
I think that
will help him. That will help him. Because you're protecting Bong more, aren't you? Because you can't put McKenna as a left back if you could just protect Bong. But I don't know. It could work.
Doesn't McKenna normally play the left side of the three?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got a bit of extra security defensively there. I think going forward, Bong's not that bad, is he? When it comes to crossing, you know, so it might not be a bad thing till January, maybe.
He did set up that against Derby.
Yeah,
and Cardiff,
Best crosser in the club, innit?
He had a good second half against Derby, to be fair, but he'll be remembered because he was at fault for their goal.
This is what I don't understand. I understand Bong can have his moments and that, blah blah, but he's a Forest player.
And he could be a confidence player. He could be a confidence player. I mean, if he knows he's got everyone boring holes into him, you know, he's going to be on eggshells, isn't he? And you know, it's not ideal, but you know, he might suit a different formation. I mean, Ryan Yates was getting pelters pre-Cooper. Colback was getting pelters pre-Cooper. Graben, you know, why can't Bong maybe be another player that turns it around? I mean, he's been a steady Eddie for quite a while in the Premier League with BRICE, so there's no reason why he couldn't do a job for 6 weeks.
Do you think? I'm asking you, do you think we're going to miss Lowe?
Absolutely. Yeah. To know, because whatever way we try and paint Bong up, he's not good enough. It's as simple as that. There's a reason why Colback is playing left back ahead of him.
I'd pack if I was him, I'd pack my bags.
There's a reason youngsters.
Stop being harsh, Dylan.
No. I mean, sorry, Des, but I'm sorry, but if I'm the next left back in the club to naturally go on, but the guy in the centre midfield is getting into my position, I'd be going, oh, hold on, what's going off here? I'd be like, right, taxi for me, see you later, I'm going.
Well, this has been happening all season, hasn't it? Because he put youngsters in at the start of the season.
He did.
You know, there were youngsters in ahead of him. There's been centre midfielders in, and like I say, we can be harsh on him, or people can be harsh on him in general, but everybody can't be wrong. You know, he is a weak link. If you look at where the goals come from when he plays, they're quite often from his side, and he gets targeted as well. So if West Brom are looking in and think he's playing, they're going to be saying to the midfielders and the centre backs, whenever you get the ball, give it to Matt Phillips.
Yeah.
Maybe Drago will play. You never know. He might drop us a bit of a surprise. Like, you know, did anybody think Ajay was going to play on Wednesday? Yesterday, really?
I did.
Having never come on.
I thought he'll play. If I'm honest.
Where does Drago play?
Right. Apparently, he can play right or left.
No, Lee, he can't play left back.
I mean, I heard he could play both sides. So, I mean, I haven't seen him, obviously.
Before I find him, I spoke to Olympiacos fan on this channel, and I said to him, "Can he play left back?" He went, "No, he's awful."
Right.
Left back.
What about Spence? Can he play left back?
That's not.
Put Spence left back if he can play there, and then put Drago in Spence's place.
Jaden Richardson, another one.
Nah, like I said, me and Des watched him on Monday. You know what? With Richardson, I feel for him because he's 22, and that's the kind of age that
he needs to be playing.
He needs to be playing. It's like with Tyrese Forner.
Yeah.
Me and Des saw him on Monday, didn't we, Des? And he was in the squad. Him and Finback was in the squad yesterday, but they wasn't even on a bench. So maybe
unless they're in the squad but not playing because maybe Cooper's probably trying to integrate them into the team, so he's just like, look, take them, but try not to use them.
I don't know. I feel sorry for like Richardson and Forner because like I said they were, especially I feel sorry for Richardson because he can play left back. He can play left back. What game was it? He played left back. Was it Wolves?
Yeah. And Bradford. And didn't he play one of the league games? Because we were really short, weren't we, for the first 2 games? Did he play against Stoke, was it? Or was that Jordan Gabriel, maybe?
No, that was against Coventry, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Coventry, yeah, Coventry. I know he played an early game. He might have even played another one then.
Well, you know, he's played a few.
Yeah, because we were really short, weren't we?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think we'll see? Do you think we'll see Lowe again?
Yeah, I think he'll probably come back.
If it's too much, his 2 months goes into January. If you work it out, probably middle of January. So then the rumours were that Sheffield United want him back.
If you think about it, right, if same with Spencer as well, if the Middlesbrough or United, we call them both, but Forest we're thinking we've got to play Bong because I think with Cooper he wants to balance. He likes to balance the team, don't he? And going forward, we've been brilliant under Cooper so far. So I don't know. I personally think we should start Richardson left back.
Yeah.
If he plays Bong, he's got to play that formation where the fullbacks play really high up the pitch. You know, Spence and Lowe at certain times have basically been on the halfway line. You know, which for me, like you said about Bong, the best part of his game is when he gets a bit of time to cross the ball and put it in. He's got a bit of in a way, he's got a bit of a wonder of a left foot. You know, he can really arc the ball round. So if he's playing, for me, it's got to be in the free. You know, and then I can kind of understand it, but defensively, he's just not at the races. And the options are limited, aren't they? I said last time, though, that the fullbacks have been integral to what happened in this team. With Colback, the resurgence of Colback and the fullbacks have been key to Forest attacking.
Yeah.
They've given the players like Brennan Johnson license to bomb on and do well in that sense. But he's got a big January coming up. It possibly replacing them, if not finding temporary replacements.
100%. There's 37 people in. If you want any comments on asking the panel if you can about yesterday's game, we'll go to the panel. What player was you happy with Dylan yesterday, Dylan? Who was you impressed with yesterday?
Ajada.
Yeah.
Ajada straight away. Do you know what I mean? Obviously makes his debut, first time playing in the English football, and he just looked like he slipped straight in.
What about you, Des? What player impressed you?
Of course, beyond Samba, I thought Joe Worrell had a really good game. I thought Joe Worrell was a bit of a rock yesterday. He seemed to. They had a guy up front who was trying his best to win penalties, wasn't he?
Yeah,
about all over. But he was a big guy, so really pleased with Worrell again because he'd had a couple of tricky games. Ajada played well in midfield. Other than that, I just think it was a slightly below par performance. You know, I think McKenna gave you his usual 6.5, 7 out of 10. You know, the defence did well and Samba, but it was that type of game, wasn't it?
As you notice, people we've not mentioned Lee's favourite player yet.
I was just thinking of him actually.
We're not.
You ever stop?
Henry Lansbury. We'll see a little short piece about Henry Lansbury. Yesterday, right?
Did you get a hero's welcome?
He didn't get. You know what? To be fair, he didn't get booed as much.
He got clapped when he went to the corner.
I booed him. No.
I believe you took cabbages with you, I heard.
He got clapped into the corner, and then when he went towards the Bridgeford stand, they all started hammering him, calling him a W after they clapped him.
But to be fair, and we went to the game, right? And Lee loves people. Lee loves Henry Lansbury. He loves him.
And I only wind you up.
No, you did right.
I liked him. I thought he was a decent player. I love him.
I'm going to throw Lee under the bus because he talks about him constantly. He thinks he'll get in the Forest team. But Des, be honest. What did Henry Lansbury do yesterday? He even got subbed off. He got subbed off.
I forgot he was playing for about 50 minutes.
I forgot he even played.
It's the players around him. He hasn't got the players around him, though.
Right. I said to Craig, where's Henry Lansbury? Where is he? He didn't even do nothing. He got subbed off. So, he was awful player.
I mean, I don't think he would get in. He wouldn't get in our. He probably wouldn't even get on our bench now, would he? I mean, let's be honest. We were talking about the options we've got in midfield. Is he better than Ryan Yates or Garner or or Ajaya or Colback? No, probably not. So, but he was good for us. He was good for us. That Billy Davis second coming team.
Lee, no, he
Yeah,
wasn't.
with McGugan and Andy Reid and Majewski. That was attacking midfield, exciting midfielders they were.
No, he was for his second spell. Yeah, when he come back, he was good then. But then he spat his dummy out, didn't he? He spat his dummy out. You use Fawaz, but that's a different story. What am I saying, John? We've got a massive game against West Brom, and like I said, Lowe's out, Colback's out. How you feeling about Colback not playing, Dylan?
Oh, I'm sure I'll soldier on, but he'll be back. He'll be back.
Is it one game? Is it one game? He's spent.
Yeah, one. It was quite bizarre to listen to it because I watched it and the commentary had BBC Radio Nottingham on, and they said when he got his first yellow card, it says, "Oh, today's the day where because it's his fourth card." It's the cut-off point. So now if he gets his fifth card in the West Brom game, it doesn't matter. He won't get suspended. But then he went and got sent off. He got a second. So there he got... Do you know what I mean?
Well, I believe the referee was diabolical, though, again, wasn't he?
Yeah, but Cooper told him. Cooper told the team that the referee was known for his yellow cards and his red cards. So don't do whatever you're doing. But obviously, what I saw of it, they were getting
What about the penalty we should have had?
Never penalty.
No.
Des, do you think it was a penalty from your where you was, Des?
Yeah, I did, but are you saying it wasn't even a foul?
No, it was a foul, 100% foul, but it was just outside the area, just because he was falling in.
Yeah,
so
it was
definitely not a penalty.
Yeah, it looked a definite foul, but I was miles away. I'm right at the other end of the ground at the back. So if you're saying it was outside, there's that rule, isn't there, that says if it carries on into the box, it's a penalty. But I don't know. I was too far away. I've watched it loads of times on a replay on someone put it on Twitter. And you can't tell. You can't tell.
The referee was awful anyway.
Well, but like it says, with the Colback red card, the second yellow.
Yeah.
Everyone kept saying on the radio and that they don't normally give yellow cards for any fouls in the box. So why did he give it him?
He was desperate to send someone off. I thought Taylor was going to go. I thought Garner was going to go. He was waiting to send someone off. And don't get me started on refs because the standard is pathetic. For our English football, English referees are off the scale bad.
Yeah.
And we seem to get them all.
There's a
question. I think
there's
a bit of an issue because Steve Cooper's dad was an ex-top referee, wasn't he? And when there was at Swansea, everyone was accusing him of getting penalties, like getting favours. And I think there's probably a bit of an issue now where we don't get penalties because the refs are scared to be accused of giving them one.
Wow. I'm just seeing that Derby are holding Fulham.
Yeah, it's 0-0 minutes. 96 minutes gone. What I've got.
It's finished.
Oh, how have they done that?
Yeah, well, let's just a quick one. They've had about 3 saved off the line. Fulham have, but what I've seen,
they're not going to do it, are they? They're not going to do it, are they?
I think they will.
You really think?
Me, I won't. There's still, I think there's 81 points or something still to pay for.
I will get rid of you if you carry on.
They've got a small squad, though, haven't they? And I think now's the time when your squad starts to get stretched. There's no more international breaks, and I think that's when they'll really start to come unstuck.
The problem is when teams get deducted points, I've said this a lot recently, they tend to have this wave of fight. They fight. The problem is when they lose that first game and teams around them pick up a few points. So Derby will probably get within a few points. And then if they just don't win for 3-4 games, you find yourself back 10, 12, 15 points adrift. Just because one or two teams have won a few games. And it's that problem now, rather than
Sheffield Wednesday did that, didn't they, last season?
Rather than be a mid-table team, which they probably are, realistically, they've got to play like champions.
Oh yeah, definite.
So these results are great, but they've got to play like that every week until the end of the season.
Right, last but not least, lads. We'll talk about Steve Cooper. And like I said, is it 1 defeat in 10 now? Is it 1 defeat in 10?
11.
1 in 12.
And I saw I don't know if you lot saw on Twitter. And Lee, I know you're not on Twitter, are you, Lee? And I saw a few people because, like I said, why? Like when we took Lolly off, we put Bong on. There's some fans being critical about why is he doing that? We're playing with 10 men. I mean,
Yeah.
And the way Luton were playing, they got that the tall guy. I forgot his name. Who he was? He was trouble, but for all around, like I'll go through you, Dylan. Like, are you happy with the way Steve Cooper started with Forest?
What, since he's joined?
Yeah. Like, are you happy like where we are now? Like,
yeah, definite. I think obviously anything was better than what we started off at the season, but he's got him playing and stuff. But I don't know if I've noticed since he's changed the formation and he goes 4 at the back, I don't see us as an attacking team as much. I think last night we had no shots on goal. Do you know what I mean? But when he plays 3 at the back, we seem to be more.
One.
If I remember, there was no shots
No
on goal.
shots on target, no.
I know what you mean, Dor. The stats do say 0, but Taylor's must have been on target.
We
didn't have anything that went towards the goal, really.
Oh, great.
No.
I know McKenna had one, but that went over the bar.
Yeah, Jada had one, went over the bar.
Bloody hell, just the keeper, that's all.
But
carry on.
But going back to what you said, I think he's got the team playing well, moving forward. Do you know what I mean? I just sometimes I feel when I see him play 4 at the back, I'm like, do you know what I mean? We don't seem to have that extra fire like yesterday. It was just, but maybe there was no spark. You know, like we've seen the last 6-7 games.
Yeah. Des, would you like Glenn was mentioning about that formation? Would you play that formation against West Brom?
Which one?
The 3 at the back.
Absolutely, I play it all the time. I just think it works better for us, and I think especially with the players we've got. I think what Cooper, going back to the question you asked Dylan about what do you think about Cooper, I think he's got a first 11 in a system he wants to play. But beyond that, I think the frustrations come out, and once you've not got those players, or once you can't play that, when you can't play that formation because you've not got certain players, I think we're starting to show our vulnerabilities again. And overall, I'm really happy with Cooper. He's given us fight, he's given us spirit. You know, we never feel like we're out of games. But I think he'll know he's got a lot of work to do in shaping the team to what he wants.
Yeah, 100%.
January's massive.
Yeah, I think he knows the job he's got. He's realistic, he's honest. I think he's warming to the job, you know, and 1 or 2, I said it the other day after the Reading game, I sensed he was frustrated, even though we were being positive. You know, he was positive with the result. I just sensed a few frustrations with certain players. And I think you'll start to see over the next 4 to 6 weeks where he really wants to gel the team to him. And then we'll really see what a manager we've got. I think we've got a good one. I think what he's done has been brilliant. He's lifted the players. He's got the best out of some of the players that weren't performing, you know, which is brilliant as well. But I think you might see quite a few changes in personnel, you know, over the next 2 windows. This season, I'm still really confident in January if he gets 2 or 3 players he wants, you know, because he seems to have the knack of
where would you put, like, where do you think Cooper needs to strength? Everyone mentions strikers, but we'll get to Lee. Go on.
I think he needs a striker because we've all spoke about the lack of depth there, but I think he'll want somebody to challenge Grabban. I think that's but and again the business he really needs to get right is the fullbacks or the wing backs. The wing backs really work because, to be honest, they're not the best defensively for all they've done for us, and they've been brilliant. Yeah. Spence and Lowe are brilliant going forward and have offered us a different dimension. This is why we're struggling when one of them's not playing, because when both are playing on either side. So that bit of business is really, really crucial. The defence, the midfield, the holding midfield is almost fine. I think he needs to get that business right, whether it's getting them both back or one of them back and another one. And then perhaps just one other attacking player. I'm not sure he's convinced about Lolly, Zinkernagel, or whoever plays in the number 10 role. I'm not sure he's overly convinced. So I think just try and tie those two down, of course, get someone for Graben and perhaps one other attacking player.
What about you, Lee? I said, I think it's 1 defeat in 10, or is it 1 defeat in 11? For Cooper,
it's 1 defeat in 12 and then 11 under Cooper. Yeah, so you can't really. I don't think there's anybody really can have any qualms with Cooper or anything. I mean, he does seem to have got a little bit spiky lately with some of the questions. Sometimes maybe a bit of frustration. I think from some of the results, the draws and the referees. But it's. I can't really have any complaints, but I'd agree with Des. We've got to get the strikers sorted. Even if it's just bringing in one sort of like, a striker sort of early 20s or something who's maybe going to be more.
Silva? What Silva?
Yeah, where is that?
There's a problem. We've got Silva, and he's not even on the bloody bench.
But we own him. We own him.
He's supposed to be more like Alex Maitland type of player.
Don't get me started on players that have never played for us, Ben. It was a miracle yesterday that we got one of these players we signed playing. And he looks all right.
What about Cafu?
No, I'm on about Jada.
Jada. Oh yeah.
But when you look back at our business, sort of like remember on when we all woke up on September the 1st. And there was a lot of fans very disappointed, weren't they, with the transfer business, that we'd a bit underwhelmed. But when you look at it now, Ajaya, Spence, Lowe, Zinkernagel, the signings have actually been pretty good, haven't they? That we made in the summer with Dane Murphy. That's an area where we can have a little bit of confidence, I think, going into January. That with him at the helm, looking for these players. He's found us some decent players before. If we lose Spence, like we probably all expect to, I've got confidence that they'll just go out and find somebody else of that mould. He's kind of proven himself at the moment, Dane Murphy. He hasn't really. There's none of his signings I would look at and say is a bit of a dud. Not one of them. So, but the fullbacks are definitely important because we don't want to be going on with this situation we've got now with Spence and Lowe being injured. We need to either make one of those permanent or just start looking at other alternatives because we don't want that dragging on and because they're so important to the team. It's no coincidence. Yeah, we can talk about Houghton, but as soon as those fullbacks have come in, we've only really lost, I think, 2 games. We lost the Middlesbrough match and the game the other week. And Spence didn't even play against Middlesbrough because he was tied against his parent club. So they are so important, those fullbacks, and we've got to get that sorted as well as the strikers. So we don't need a massive amount. And I've got confidence that Dane Murphy can get it right.
The thing is, it would be nice not to rely on loan players like we have been, because this is a possibility. And for as good as Spence is, and he's been really, really important, people are kind of losing the shit over it a bit. Like Lee said, we could potentially replace him with somebody better. I've lost sleep over better players than Spence.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I cried over Lars Bohinen leaving.
Oh, dude, I think I cried. Who did I cry? Who did I cry for?
Matty Cash. But they just to show you how good was Cash. How good was Cash, and we really missed him last season. Nobody's mentioned him this season because Spencer's been so good. There is plenty of good players out there, and when you've got the right scouting team, you know it's this time next year. You could be Jed Spencer. Remember, we had him for half a season. Yeah, he was all right. Now we've got so.
Do you know what I heard a rumor the other day?
Go get the dream room about.
Was this on the bus?
That we were looking again at Christie.
Yeah.
No, I don't want him.
No,
you're not playing for Fulham, is he?
No. So I heard that they were looking at him to get him in January if Spence ends up going. But
I wouldn't be too downhearted as a stopgap to the end of the season.
Can I just say one thing? Is everyone's, like you say, everyone said about a striker, definite. Do you know what I mean? Tying down the fullbacks. But there's one person that we could still lose in January is Joe Worrell. And if we lose him, who do we replace him with? That's the question.
So
yeah, but he's not fit though.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't think he'd go mid-season.
Hey?
I'd like to think he wouldn't go mid-season if we were pushing for the playoffs.
Yeah, but he said in that interview already that he nearly went in the summer. No one knew about that. So it only takes another Premiership club. Or, do you know what I mean? I even thought about Aston Villa might sniff round him now. Gerrard's at Rangers.
Yeah.
At Aston Villa.
I've been hearing that loads, Lou. I've been hearing that loads about Gerrard. Villa.
He's gonna go. He's gonna go. I'm not. If it's not January, it's going to be next summer, definitely.
After what he said in that interview, I think he's almost said that move fell through. Come and get me. That was what was being said in the interview he did with Robin Chipperfield. He said, "I'm open to a Premiership move." That one with, I think it's West Ham. I might be wrong. It might be Southampton. It could be one of.
I heard it was Southampton.
But he's basically said that move didn't work, but I'm here willing to leave Forest. He did it all in an okay way. I'm not criticising, but that was his almost like I'm available. So you're right, Dylan. He could possibly leave in January, but I don't think he will personally. But if he does, he's going to take someone replacing as well, isn't he? Because of what he brings in terms of leadership.
What he did yesterday, I don't know if you lot saw it there. When the sending off came. Spence went over to Cooper to talk to him.
Yeah.
And Joe Worrell called the whole team over and got them round in a huddle and literally was telling them what to do. So, do you know what I mean? His heart. I don't think anyone can question his heart or his desire for the club.
Right, I've got two questions. And this is a Luton fan, Lewis Williams. He's a Luton fan. All right, mate. The penalty will need to be retaken. Definitely a poor penalty. No, it wasn't a poor penalty. It was a fantastic save from Samba. Fantastic save from Samba. So I wouldn't say it was a poor penalty. This is Lennon. Shots, Lennon. Get Brereton back. Goal scorer, 16 goals. Scored 2 tonight. The lad's on fire. Right.
Well, because he's got Diaz at the end of his name. That's all.
He's out of contract at the end of the season. I don't know if no one knows. He's out of contract. And bring back Brereton. He's worth, how much is he worth now? He's worth about 50 million, eh?
I think he'll fancy a Premier League move, won't he, the next season? If he finishes up with 30 goals or something, and he's a free agent, I would imagine that there'd be teams going up even to the Premier League would probably fancy a chance of him. Depends if he's still got roots in Nottingham, I suppose, and he wants to come out.
He won't come to Nottingham. After the way, he definitely won't come back to Nottingham. He's got Diaz.
I don't think he'll come back, and I just think we won't be able to afford him anyway. I think a team like Norwich or West Brom, someone getting promoted might say we'll take him.
That's a waste of £7 million for Blackburn. If you think about it, because it's took him. How long did he sign? Did he sign a 4-year contract? It's took him 4 years to do something.
Yeah,
and potentially he's going to be worth a lot of money, and you're going to see him just walk out the door.
Is it not interesting that it is the last year of his contract? There's a lot said about this, isn't there? Yeah, he had that sort of make or break, that moment that made him with Chile, but it's the last year of his contract as well. And it was his application ever 100% when he wasn't playing for a contract. Because if he'd not done what he'd done this season, he'd probably be going down a league, not up one.
Yeah, 5%. Right, people, to get going. Listen, if you did enjoy this podcast, please do hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Des, are you going to football league World tomorrow?
I am, yeah.
Right, people. Des is making his debut on football league. Was it football world? What is it, Des? Tell everyone what you're going on tomorrow so people can watch it.
Football League World at 12 o'clock. Look it up on Twitter and wherever. Door's got me involved. I'm Door's number 2 now, I think.
So Des is making his debut on Football League World tomorrow, 12 o'clock. I'm working, so I can't go on. So
when Door can't be asked, he just messages me and says, "Will you do it?"
Whoa, he's a YouTuber, isn't it? Well, I can't ask Dylan because he'll be on the bus, so he can't drive, and I can't ask Scouse and Lee because he spots Stoke. So basically, the joke about Lee, he wore a Stoke hat, and it came out on his story back in the day, innit it, Lee?
No comment, mate.
Right, people. Like I said, tomorrow I'll be on live with a West Brom fan tomorrow. Me and Des are going to the West Brom game, aren't we, Des? And Des,
I fancy us on Friday.
You know what? Why?
I really don't rate West Brom whatsoever. I think they're there for the taking.
You know what? When's the last time we lost them at their ground?
It's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah,
it's been a while.
Do you know what? I think 0-0 is nailed on. Do you know, just the way both teams are a bit cagey at the moment, I think it's nailed on for 0-0.
I can't see their manager until the new year, though. I think he's a dead man walking, and if somebody can get a win there at the Hawthorns, apparently it's toxic at the Hawthorns at the moment. The style of football's really poor. Remember Barnsley last season, they did well. Yeah. But it wasn't good football, was it? But you can get away with it with the Barnsley, whereas I think West Brom have got higher expectations of how they should be playing, and they're there for the taking. I think I'm going there sort of confident that we can get a win.
Wait, before we go, what's your prediction, Dylan?
What for Friday?
Yeah.
I don't know, mate. At the minute, the way the team's looking, I'm probably be dead like a 0-0 probably.
Come on, boys. I'm confident. I don't know why I'm confident. Like when I saw the fixture next game for West Brom, I'm confident. But what about you, Lee?
3-1 for Forest, I think. 3-1.
3-1.
Really fancy us strong. Fancy them to give them a good doing.
I'll see 1-0 bong 19th minute.
It's one of those though, isn't it? That could really kickstart us again. If we get a win, whatever way, if we scrap one, if we play well, doesn't matter. If we get a win, it could really, with Peterborough coming up, it could be that sort of kick on again. And 3 games makes a world of difference in this league, doesn't it?
I think the frustrating thing is with the likes of Lowe being out and Colback is a couple of weeks ago we were looking at this fixture and thinking, this will be a good marker of how far we've come, where we are. Now it's kind of like, we're taking 2 key players out. It kind of takes that away a bit, doesn't it? But with that set in mind, I'm still confident we can get a win, just because I think it's, I just don't rate West Brom at all.
I think I'm confident, but as well, people, like I said, me and Des, we're going to the game on Friday. So if you want to see me and Des, make sure you subscribe to Do Daily. Des is not the plug for his channel, so please everyone subscribe to Do Daily as well. But people, thanks for watching, and hopefully we can get a massive game. Like tomorrow, I'm there. I'm here tomorrow with, like I said, a West Brom fan at 9 o'clock. So everyone, peace and love. Up the Forest.
Happy Christmas.
It's not pre-Christmas, Ellen. It's off.
Get your tree up, you miserable.